To start, Uranus spins on its side, with each pole facing the sun for 42 years at a time. Quite the long day. Now that's a lazy rotation. Even more shocking, Uranus has 27 moons, each with funky names like Titania and Oberon. Talk about a moon party. Brr, better pack a parka, because temperatures on Uranus can dip to negative 371 degrees Fahrenheit. Brr, that's cold enough to freeze your nostril hairs. Wild winds on Uranus can reach up to 560 miles per hour. Better bolt down the patio furniture. Here's a real gas. Uranus is made up almost entirely of hydrogen and helium gas. In other words, it's one big fart in space. And get this, a day on Uranus lasts for 17 hours. Perfect for long naps and extra Netflix binging. The atmosphere of Uranus is infused with methane gas, giving it a blue-green tint. Essentially, it's one big cosmic fart bubble. Most planets rotate east to west, but Uranus spins nearly on its side, rotating west to east instead. Such a rebel. On Uranus, it literally rains diamonds, bling for days. At times, Uranus gets completely dark for nearly 21 years at a stretch. Vampires would love it. With minimum temperatures reaching negative 224 degrees Celsius, Uranus is colder than Neptune even though it's closer to the sun. Crazy cold out there. The first ever planet found with the aid of a telescope was Uranus in 1781. Thanks for paving the way, gassy guy. On Uranus, summer and winter each last for 21 years straight. Imagine the same season for over 2 decades. Wild. Earthquakes have been detected on Uranus even though it has no solid surface. Such shaky business going on. The atmosphere of Uranus contains clouds of poisonous hydrogen sulfide gas. Deadly. Uranus has 2 sets of very thin, dark-colored rings. Quite the slim accessory. The blue-green color of Uranus comes from methane gas in its atmosphere. One cosmic fart bubble. Ice cores penetrating Uranus's mantle suggest there's no solid surface beneath the atmosphere. So bizarre. Astronomers believe Uranus once suffered a cataclysmic collision with an Earth-sized object. Ouch, talk about a bad bang-up. With over 24 satellites, Uranus has the 3rd largest collection of moons in our solar system. Impressive entourage. The atmosphere of Uranus contains a vast amount of water vapor, along with methane and hydrogen. One wet and gassy place. Uranus orbits lying on its side with its axis pointing towards the sun. Strange orientation. The atmosphere of Uranus doesn't have clear boundaries between altitude layers like other planets, a bit fuzzy up there. Uranus has the coldest atmosphere out of all the planets in our solar system, even colder than distant Neptune. Brr, next stop North Pole. Like Venus, Uranus rotates in the opposite direction as most other planets. Such a rebel rouser. The length of a day on Uranus is approximately 17 hours and 14 minutes. Perfect nap time. Uranus has over 200 times more carbon monoxide than Earth does. One serious case of space gas. A year spent on Uranus is equivalent to 84 years spent on Earth. Talk about an extended lifespan. Uranus has a very short rotation period coupled with a very long revolution period around the sun. Odd combo. With no solid surface to slow it down, winds on Uranus can reach up to 900 kilometers per hour. Hold on to your hats. Astronomers believe Uranus suffered a giant collision with an Earth-sized object early on in its formation. Ouch. Uranus's blue-green atmosphere contains hydrogen sulfide, which makes it smell like rotten eggs. Pu, who farted? A single season on Uranus lasts over 20 years. That's longer than a whole generation of humans live on Earth. Methane makes up about 2% of Uranus's atmosphere. Keeping it gassy. Uranus has faint rings, which were only discovered in 1977. Pretty slim bling for a planet. The interior of Uranus is made up of ices and rock rather than gas. Chile supports. Uranus has 27 known moons, named after characters from the works of William Shakespeare. Fancy monikers. A year on Uranus is equivalent to 84 Earth years, nearly a century in one orbit. With methane snow falling through its atmosphere, Uranus really does resemble a giant fart bubble. Smelly business. Uranus's tilt causes it to receive less solar radiation over its poles than it does along the plane of its equator. Dim poles. Uranus has a fast spin, rotating once every 17 hours and 14 minutes. Talk about a speedy planet. At approximately 4 billion kilometers from the Sun, chilly Uranus is the 3rd farthest planet from our host star. Out in the boonies, Uranus has 2 sets of rings encircling its equator, potentially the remnants of a shattered moon. Slim stack of rings. Unlike other planets, Uranus spins nearly on its side in relation to its orbit. Strange orientation. Uranus's blue color comes from traces of methane gas in its outer atmosphere, keeping it gassy. Thanks for sticking with me through these wild facts. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe for more craziness. Let me know your favorite bits in the comments.